Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Open Africa podcast. We have the usual suspects here. My name is Furo, and I have with me Laulu Anusa.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, guys. Long time no see.
Yeah. So we'll just jump right into the topics for today. So we're just gonna be discussing some news highlights of things that have happened in the last couple of weeks in the Nigerian tech space. So Uber Cash.
Powered by Flutterwave.
I mean, it was inevitable that someone was going to do it. The use case was there, and I guess it makes sense that they did not use a Nigerian bank, so they don't have to struggle with agility and how quickly the products can hit the market. So it makes sense no matter how you look at it. Flutterwave has the technology to be able to render such services. Uber has the need for the product. I hope it translates into a better experience, not just for the riders, but particularly the drivers. I mean, with this, I expect that they should be able to do instant settlements for their drivers. So we should stop hearing, please pay cash. My money has not cleared.
That's a very big issue, the driver angle. I really hope that this solves that problem because the number of times I've had riders tell me, oh, please pay cash, or I need to buy fuel, I'm out of money and things like that. I hope that this is solves that problem from the driver perspective as well. Just to add, I believe that the ways that it'll be customers will be able to fund their accounts via transfer. So customers will be able to fund via their Uber wallet, via card, mobile money, and then the Flutterwave Barter app. So I guess they're plugging in their own solution in there as well to try and drive adoption as well. I guess so. Give it more use to their customers that currently use it.
I think for me, the big takeaway is even less on Uber and more on Flutterwave. Because, Flutterwave and Paystack are basically dragging this thing for a while now. And it's they've now, both of them have kind of established their own niche in the payment space. So Paystack is the developer's best friend. So anybody that's building a startup right now that has anything to do with payments or accepting card payments, the first thing they're doing is most of them go Paystack. So I can't remember, someone was telling me that almost every Nigerian startup that got into YC or has gotten into YC in the last couple of years has been powered by Paystack, which I think is absolutely incredible because they're very, very developer friendly, which is a very good thing. But for Flutterwave, they seem to be they're more establishment, if that makes any sense. They're doing stuff with bigger companies. So they might not get as much of the developer community as the young startups, but Netflix is coming to Nigeria. It's Flutterwave they're going with. Uber is trying to do a wallet system in Nigeria. It's Flutterwave they're going with. Flutterwave, I guess they have this global clout that maybe Paystack doesn't have, or I might be ignorant on it, but it's Flutterwave gets the bigger deals, while Paystack gets the volume, in terms of the number.
Yeah, so I think that's brand positioning because Paystack, if you hear Shola speak, it's always about helping people to build their businesses, helping people to connect and be able to get payments as easily as possible, and not necessarily looking at it from the big corporate angle. So I think it's brand positioning for the two brands. Flutterwave has always been big on, partnering with the banks and working with the banks and all of that, while Paystack not so much. So I think that is a brand positioning thing.
Yeah, because it's this one just dawned on me because I was like, oh wow, this is who they partnered for this. I guess it helps that the Flutterwave has Barter. Following up with Netflix Nigeria and Flutterwave being the one, it's almost if you're a foreign company coming to Nigeria and trying to set up something, Flutterwave is the guy you go to. But if you're like a Nigerian guy trying to build your thing from scratch here, Haystack is the guy you go to. And I've spoken to like developers and they say like, oh, Haystack's like reputation is friendly, like Flutterwave, they don't really respond, that kind of thing. So I guess if it feeds into that, And another thing, what's it called, that about this thing that like, caught my attention is almost everything can be made into a fintech now. Almost everything. Like as long as you're processing payments, you can morph yourself into a fintech. Because look at this. Uber is doing Uber Cash, and it's like a wallet system. That's the start. The next thing the next level is now if they give like their drivers like a card, where their drivers can like spend the money that they've made off rides immediately instead of waiting for like settlement. That's more or less that's a bank. Then they can even like start giving these drivers loans. Because I was like messing about on Twitter the other day talking about like record labels in Nigeria and how you can basically establish like the fintech of settlement. Small thing is you give them cards to spend the money they make off selling their music on Spotify. Next thing, give them a loan so they can record an album. And you're a bank. Like everything can turn to a bank in the middle of a second. And I don't even think this is something banks realize how easy it is. And remember we talked earlier this year about like banking as a service being one of the big things that will come out this year. And I think that's what's playing out. Like everybody, you don't even need to have like the whole infrastructure. You just need something. You need something that brings people to your platform, like some value. So for like Uber, is the drivers they make money off driving. So that's what brings them to the platform. They just sell it with some finance product, and that's it. While banks don't really have the advantage because they are just the finance product. There's no finance plus. But yeah, that's definitely like something that came to mind when I was reading that thing. It's like how it's so easy. I mean, we've talked about Uber Cash before, but yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, in other news, PiggyVest. Typically when you have a savings plan with them and you've locked it in, if you want to withdraw, they charge you a 5% penalty fee. But in light of everything that's going on in COVID-19, they have graciously dropped that fee to 1.5%. I know that Laulu has always had a feeling about these penalty fees. I don't know if you want to speak a bit about that.
Okay. First of all, apologies if it sounds like people are fighting in the back of my house. It's the rain that is fighting my roof. So let's get that out of the way. Man, it's not like I really had an issue with their penalty charge. As a matter of fact, it's not them I have a problem with. It's Cowrie-wise that I have a problem with. I mean, PiggyVest has always been clear that we're helping you save. And if you want to be irresponsible and break your savings, then you pay a heavy price for it. It's just consequence management that they help people learn. Them dropping it from 5% to 1.5%. I mean, considering what is happening, it's commendable. I think commendable is the word. Because I know like at the start of the lockdown, many people were talking about how they had money trapped in Cowrie-wise. I have a friend whose money is trapped in Cowrie-wise, and he needed to, there was an unforeseen spend that that came up, and then he had to borrow, like even though he had that money in his Cowrie-wise thingy, he had to borrow. So PiggyVest reading the situation of things and dropping this penalty, I like the move, considering that it's also going to impact on their own earnings. It's a nice thing to do. But as we've learned, many things are not always entirely altruistic, but it's nice all the same.
Yeah, I think PiggyVest is doing a better job of managing their liquidity compared to before. So I guess they don't have to penalize you as much. So with Cowrie-wise, the idea I get is a lot of the stuff that's in United Capital is very manual. So like it's Cowrie-wise, is a customer of United Capital and you're a customer of CarryWise. So it's like they manually have to, like, if you want to withdraw, they would manually have to withdraw like you withdraw from a regular mutual fund, and they're subject to like United Capital's issues. So I think that's what limits them a bit. I guess it's to I wouldn't blame them. I guess they could do a better job if they wanted to, but I wouldn't blame them too much. I'll say it's more on the underlying asset manager being in the Stone Ages.
Yeah, so I think that's the thing of picking let me not say the wrong partner, but not necessarily picking the best partner if you're trying to be like nimble and serve customers that would want, to do things on demand and at their own time. Yeah, so Snapchat will be some new features, no sir?
Oh, okay. So yeah, I was watching, I was absentmindedly watching on Snapchat. Like they had like this keynote thing for like developers, like partners trying to build things, and it's one of the most fascinating things I've ever seen. Like they're currently their pinned tweets right now. So if you go on Snapchat page, you guys should watch that. It's a 15-minute video, like a 15-minute session. It's like the Snap Partner Summit. But what blows my mind is, I think it's going under the radar because Snapchat is not as popular here. But Snapchat is building some of the most fascinating technology, like most exciting things I've ever seen, as far as like augmented reality and everything. Like I saw this clip where if you have a travel card, you can use your phone, and if you use like Snapchat, like a Snapchat lens, it's looks taking like or hovering over your travel card, which is like Snapchat. It brings out like a map of like the subway system, and I think that is incredible, so cool, and it's something that I don't even think like we're appreciating like right now. And there's this thing how you can get like your Bitmoji in like Snapchat games and you can play with other people. It's ridiculous. Like I don't even know, I can't even explain all the tech being done on it, but it is so cool, and it's something that I think I guess because we don't have lights in this country, that we're not really hip to it, but there is so much potential. Like there is so much potential. Like imagine if you could like try on wedding rings with like a Snapchat lens.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that they featured all of these like awesome stuff that they are building, and I'm just reading the comments on the tweet, and everyone is just like, we don't care, all we want is dark mode and username change, and everybody's literally asking for dark mode and a rollback of the last updates. Like it's just incredible to me how that can be happening at a time when people are putting forward some of the most incredible stuff that they've ever done. Oh yeah, there are also complaints about bad customer support as well. So perhaps
it might never blow like stupidly like Instagram stories because Facebook is terrible at it. But as far as what they're building, like their stack, it's very incredible. It's like it's the future. It's the absolute future. That's what I think. So maybe they'll finesse it into something else. I have no idea, but yeah, it's very incredible. Like I was watching the video thing. I was like, this is not some like regular Zoom call where they are giving you updates. Like the backgrounds were changing, everything was dynamic. Like this is what Steve Jobs dreamed of when he was doing his Apple keynotes.
Speaking of fine things, has anyone seen Eversend? It's like a Ugandan fintech that allows you hold different currencies in wallets. So you can have like a Nigerian Naira wallet, a Ghanaian cedis wallet, a Kenyan shillings wallet, all within the same application. So if you are ever in any of those regions or you need to make purchases with or do transfers with any of those currencies, like they'll help you get it done. And you can also do like cross-border remittance or into Eversend wallets. I think so it's pretty interesting.
It's like that. It's like TransferWise is like borderless, like or you can have like different like currency accounts all on your TransferWise app. But this time it's for Africa. But what I really thought was interesting is that ever since they raised like $700K, but it was like crowdfunding. So it's like people putting their money to like fund the company. And I don't think I've seen that anywhere like Africa. I don't think there's any African company that has like that affinity with its customers to the point where they're putting in their own money and raising that. Because if you announce that in like Lagos, you are a star. Like if you are saying I raised 700K, you're a star. So imagine that they raise like 700K off like crowdfunding. I've only seen that with like Monzo and the rest, but not with like African startups.
Yeah, I've only ever seen that with Curve, which is British, English. Those guys allow you have multiple cards linked to one single card and one app for managing all of them.
Can you imagine if Wallets Africa said they wanted to do crowdfunding?
So perhaps is there an indication of like the fact that they're really meeting a need that people have to transfer money or move value like across African countries? Is that the underlying motivation for people like dropping their personal money to fund these guys?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of that, and there's like an affinity to the brand as well. It's like because they're not primarily like West African or Sub-Saharan Africa, you don't hear about them as much as you hear about like the startups this way. But in East Africa, they're like a pretty big deal. And I mean, for people to like put in that much money of their own thing, because like they were targeting like 600K and they like exceeded targets. So it's a step in the right direction. I mean, maybe like a Nigerian company would consider like doing like crowdfunding, although we don't have money, so we don't know how much we raise. But
remember that this country, money is tight.
Money is tight
exactly.
everywhere, it's just that we're a different breed. And interestingly, for Eversend, I think EcoBank provides the underlying technology, like the wallet system. You know, we keep talking about banking as a service. So I think it's EcoBank that provides the actual store of value for Eversend because they're a partner. Either that or perhaps they invested early in them. That's a challenge to other like Nigerian banks. I get that EcoBank is not Nigerian like that. They just operate in Nigeria. But it's a challenge for us, especially if we want to form that we're like the largest economy in Africa, and even in the face of technology and financial services, we're pretty much ahead of most African countries, if not all.
I'm very, very interested in seeing where they go. I just downloaded it like the other day, and I will put some money in and just see. I don't know. I mean, I'll never be in those regions, but just to see how it works, because it's a fascinating product from what I've seen so far, and from what I've read from people that use it. It's very, very fascinating.
Sparkle has finally launched.
Again, you mean?
Then Sparkle is in the market.
Yeah. If they're finally launched, what was that thing they're doing before?
Is pilots. It might be pilots. You know, you have to pilot before you fully enter the market. You know how it is.
I'm just going to test it again and see if anything has changed because
they did all manner of like influencer marketing. Do you know they've been working on this thing for almost like what 2 years? They've been working on this product for almost 2 years, and this is what they dropped, and it's not even finished. It's like you started on it for so long just to release this. I mean, the more the merrier. I'm happier that they're more digital back. So Sparkle has been a thing even before movies. Because I remember when they were hiring and they were approaching people, they approached like some people from Mandela and everything. So it's like, for the top secret project. And this was even before like Diamond Bank packed up.
The only thing that I've seen that might be of interest to me is just the split payment feature.
But even that feature, is is it a thing that we're applying like Nigerian culture? Like, do we really split payments like that?
I mean, so they just got back. I think they still split payments.
Because I can see how, because foreign like apps always have like that split bill feature, and I guess for them it's always every man for himself. Like that's their culture. But in a country where celebrate pays for everybody on their birthday, I don't think we're doing any split payments. It's like, oh, I went up for dinner. I'll pay for it. Let's just split the payment, guys. If you send me any payment request, I'll go ahead. Who said you to pay?
Yeah, I mean,
I
yeah,
have nothing to say about that one, to be honest. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
And I just think,
it's not differentiated enough.
It's not. It's not.
It's just not differentiated enough. There is no conceivable reason. There is no value proposition that they are bringing to me that I don't have the exact same thing or an alternative with anybody that I currently use. So,
Like I'd rather go back to GT Bank. I don't see anything that they're doing that is significantly different from what, like, why should I leave what is existing to go to you? I mean, they even took like that chatbot from Diamond Bank. So.
anyways, I think we've come to the end of the episode. But on a closing note, I want to address the case of what's his name?
Tizati, Kenda.
Yes.
I mean, it's bad enough that your internet is not working. You also,
I mean, I think we know now why their internet does not work.
like an aggressive sexual assaulter, bringing out your penis everywhere.
I think this episode we might have to target for mature audiences before we get before we get a strike from Apple. It's pathetic.
The whole thing has just been a shit show. Like how they handled it. First, he didn't want to step down. They said they will investigate. Then they didn't investigate. Then the guy locked his Twitter. Then he unlocked his Twitter to come and like tell the babe that he never raped her. I mean, she never said he raped her. She said that you brought your penis out. That's very different. And I think what's even worse is the reaction of like the tech community, because obviously everybody has known that Nigerian men are wild and Nigerian men do wild shit. That is Nigerian men. But I feel like for some reason the tech community thought they were like special and different, and these things don't happen in there.
That whole narrative just bothered me, because last the tech community made up of Nigerian men. Like, just because you carry laptop and you know how to code does not mean you're different or you're special. Like, they're still born
because they can write "Hello World." They're fine.
Yeah, they're still born and raised in this environment where they are, told that they are kings and that women should bow down to them and women should be taking care of them and women are there for their pleasure. Like, they're still raised in this messed up, environment. So yeah, I mean, I understand, like, maybe they had good intentions in terms of perhaps, collectively in the tech community, they should hold themselves to higher standards. However, let's be real, like, they are still Nigerian men.
I mean, like, even if you want to believe that you are a king and you are the best thing since sliced bread, how anyone can see that whipping out your Jimmy in public is an aberrant behavior is beyond me. Like, I mean, maybe it's because of how I process it, but
but we've seen that it's not a new thing, and it's not just. It seemed like one day I came across a random video of a lady in Jeepney bank queue, and the guy behind her just whipped it out. I was like trying to rub it against her, and I was like, "What?" Like, there have been many videos like exposing these guys. Like, it's something rampant, and it's been there for ages. I think it's just now that we have mobile phones, people are capturing.
We never used to talk about all these fetishes, and we always used to act like white people were the crazy ones. I remember during, I think it was my second year in uni, and there was a course that I was taking in psychology regarding all these fetishes and stuff. And then we would examine each fetish, like the the ideas behind them. And I remember all of us acting like it was such a weird thing. But now that I think about it, as long as we're human beings, we're going to have similar traits. So it only makes sense that these things will run through both in Western communities and even in African communities. What I'm grateful for now is that more and more people are willing to speak up. And then the advent of the mobile phone and being able to record stuff and being able to capture stuff as they happen or texts as they happen. It's such a welcome development. And I'm here for people getting shamed, if that's what it takes for you to behave yourself and act like somebody that went to school, then so be it.
And like another thing was, what even annoyed me was beyond even tech thinking they're above it. It's more their solution was very technical. It's like, let's build a database of Kiniko, or let's do a hackathon to solve sexual assault. Let's do this. It's all manner of nonsense, performative. I don't even know. It's like, I'm willing to give $1,000 to anybody that can put together a database of sexual assault. I was like, man, just talk to your people. Nobody wants that. Well, you can't grow your own out of it. You can't write code that solve sexual assault. When you have not written code to fix your own yaba, it's now this one you want to fix yourself first.
Yeah, spot on. And ultimately, I think it will also have to boil down to like legislation as well. I feel like people will keep acting up as long as they know they are going to get away with it. Like if you know that the consequence for your behavior is going to be like really messed up, I feel like for many people it will cause them to have second thoughts about misbehaving. Because now as it is, policemen, the judiciary, like everyone, this rape culture is pervasive in our society where people do stuff and get away with it because the people meant to prosecute and the people meant to bring justice also share similar views. Just before this call, I saw a video of one lunatic confronting some guys that were protesting about rape and sexual assault in Ikpaja. And it was essentially saying that women had a hand in it and all of that. And in my head, I'm like, where do you want to start with somebody like this? This man is probably in his 50s, and these are views he has probably held for the entirety of his existence. So where do you start with this kind of person? As far as I'm concerned, we need to get to a point where the cost of sexual assault is very high and the implications are very significant for the perpetrators.
Yeah, and that's why currently I'm all for funding the organizations that sort of lobby for these causes and all of that, because ultimately right now there's plenty noise on social media, this or that, but then we need to ensure that the noise is sustained and that actual actions are taken, because I know that the Senate and House of Reps, I know that they've come out with some list of things that they're doing. They set up a committee for this one, that one, but it's to ensure that it's not just enough for them to set up those committees, but then by funding these organizations that are focused to STARE and Stand to End Rape and all of them, that they then continuously push to actually have like legal things put in place to ensure that we can prosecute people that do these things. And that there's actually standard procedures that the police will follow to deal with issues like this, and hospitals will follow to ensure that evidence is properly collected and people are, duly dealt with for doing these things.
Yeah, I agree. So, yeah, if you are a rapist, please don't listen to our podcast. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening to another episode of Open Africa podcast. Forgive some of the sound issues. We're still recording remotely. And we hope you're staying safe. And till the next episode.
Corona is outside. Bye. Yes.